Welcome to the bye week, week 1.
Welcome to the bye week. It's been a while since we've done this show.
I'd say it even might have been a whole summer.
More than this summer.
Yeah, probably longer.
We haven't done this since
we weren't super
March.
productive last time. I don't even think we released the episodes we did like in March.
We did the one with Nate from WGR.
That's true. I wasn't there for that though, so I kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, but we haven't done a show in a while. That's besides the point. But we are back, and we're hoping that it's going to be a better show this year, and that we'll give some more in-depth Bills talk.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know, just be an altogether better show.
Yeah, good time. Try to be a little more dependable with when we release the shows and getting them recorded and everything.
Absolutely. And now Evan actually has a little bit of actual radio experience, so, you know, we know how to do a show a little bit more. We actually have outlines, notes.
Do you hear this?
That is a whole...
We didn't have papers
paper.
last year. We didn't have papers for anything.
I wrote notes on the Bills game, but they were just like handwritten, very messy.
They are
This is laid out in a nice
printed nicely in Comic Sans.
But, you know, it's not the font that matters. It's the information that we have on the sheet of paper.
Yes.
And in my opinion, it's good information. I wrote it, but, you know, I think it's decent information.
That's true. I have not looked over this to make sure this is okay at all.
I think
it could just be riddled with typos and everything, but
I'm sure there's some typos. The word McKelvin is
on two
split
lines.
Up on two
that
lines,
did bother me. That did bother me quite a bit. Not gonna lie.
I don't blame you. I'm sorry.
It's okay.
All right.
You're excused.
So now that we got that over with, let's get to some Bills talk. Very first game of the season. Yesterday, in fact.
Yes.
If you're listening to this on a day other than today, it probably won't be yesterday.
No. I'd even be surprised if we get this up Monday night, but you know what? We will.
We'll try. We'll try to get this out as soon as possible.
New year, new us.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, the Bills played the Colts yesterday. They won 27-14. Pretty good game.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching it, actually. Which is something I haven't seen that much recently.
A lot of people were predicting it to be closer. I think a lot of people were expecting it to be like 27-21 for... And this is whether they thought either the Bills or the Colts were winning, but they were expecting it to be a lot closer, like 21-19 or something like that, I saw.
I was expecting the Colts to score a lot more touchdowns and just altogether be better on offense.
Yeah.
That was surprising.
Our defense pretty much embarrassed Luck.
Really? I mean, Andrew Luck still, you know, he still had some moments, and he was still decent. He wasn't terrible. But he wasn't the Andrew Luck that we've come to know. And I really messed that up. He wasn't the Andrew Luck that we're used to. You know, he only had 240 yards or so, 243 actually. Now that we actually have the stats right in front of us. 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. Got sacked twice. And, you know, his completion percentage wasn't really that great, so we really did a good job on him.
No, and if you look at it, 49 passes.
That's a lot of attempts.
That's very lopsided.
They had no balance in their game at all. I mean, Frank Gore was a non-factor, only 31 yards, and he was hobbled too. It was noticeable. Like I don't know if he hurt his knee. Was it a knee injury?
I believe so.
I mean, he wasn't the same after he had hurt himself, and then they had 2 rookie running backs, Josh Robinson and Tyler Varga, and neither of them made really an impact either. Varga did have an 18-yard reception, but in terms of running the ball, the Colts were not able to do anything on the Bills' defense.
No.
And keep this in mind, that was without Marcel Darius. So if the Bills can do that good on defense against the run without the best run stuffer on the team, imagine what they can do next week against the Patriots.
Yeah. I don't think anyone was doubting our defense, but I think still, even with high expectations, they still exceeded them. And I think, speaking of expectations, I don't think anyone expected Tyrod to do as well as he did.
Yeah, Tyrod had a really good game. He was very solid. Didn't really make any mistakes.
No.
The one play you could say was the fumbled snap, but I mean, look, he's going to make mistakes. Every quarterback makes mistakes. Andrew Luck threw 2 interceptions yesterday.
I was on, I believe it was ESPN Wednesday, so they had already announced Tyrod was starting. But still, in the fantasy draft where no one takes anyone past, like, the 200th rank or something, Tyrod was ranked, like, 2,400 something.
Wow.
Yeah, so...
That's incredible.
Whoever picked him up, I mean,
15 points, I believe.
It's still not the most dependable pick, but it's he did pretty good at proving why he should at least be a backup.
Oh, definitely. I mean, he was 14 out of 19, 195 yards, a touchdown. He threw a great pass to Percy Harvin, that 51-yard touchdown. That was a beautiful throw. And he almost hit Sammy Watkins for another longer pass. He overthrew him a little bit. But, I mean, the guy had 5 incompletions, so for a first-time starter in winning your first game, he played very well, I thought. I was impressed.
Yeah.
And he's a dual threat, too. He's a legit dual threat. Like, E.J. Manuel, sure, he's mobile. But he's not really a threat to, like, really break free for a huge run. Tyrod Taylor, he definitely is a threat. He had a 31-yard run yesterday. What do you think of the rest of that? Should we go offense? Talk more about the defense?
Yeah, we could. Yeah, the offense was pretty impressive as well. There wasn't a whole lot I left yesterday's game thinking like, oh, we need to improve here and we need to improve here. I mean, there was still some of that, but not nearly as much as I'm used to having been a Bills fan for the past 15 years.
I definitely think there's a lot of promise on this offense. I think LaShawn McCoy wasn't that impressive. Part of that's him, part of that's the offensive line. I still have hope for LaShawn as a Bill. He's a very good, very talented running back. Carlos Williams, I thought, was very impressive. He broke up a 26-yard run for a touchdown. And beyond that, he was pretty solid for whenever he had the opportunity. The Bills' receivers, Percy Harvin led the way with 79 yards on 5 receptions, and obviously that nice touchdown. Charles Clay was pretty good. Robert Woods had 2 catches. Really, the only missing person in the Bills' offense that I expected to see was Sammy Watkins.
Yeah, which is saying a lot because for the past season, he was our star player, basically.
Absolutely. I mean, he's one of the most popular players on the Bills. He's one of the most talented, I would say. And we traded up to get him. And he didn't show up. I mean, part of that was he's only targeted 3 times. Part of that could be that he was going up against Vontae Davis for the Colts, who's one of the best corners in the league. But yeah, I expect to see a lot more Sammy in the game plan. I'm thinking week 2, we're going to see a lot of Sammy, though.
I think so. I think he had a season, or not a season, but he had a game to get back into things.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, he didn't play the preseason, really.
No. So I think that's a safe bet. Week 2 against New England, we'll be seeing a lot more of him.
And think about it, I mean...
Because we have to bring our A game for New England.
Oh, absolutely.
And even if Sammy didn't produce this week, he was still producing a lot last season. So he's a good asset to have when we go against New England.
I mean, Sammy Watkins is still going to have a good season, I think. It was just a rough first game for him. And I think against New England, it's a really good matchup for him because New England did lose both Darrelle Revis and Brandon Browner, I believe, right?
Yes.
You could fact check us on that if it's wrong, but I believe they lost Brandon Browner as well. But so I mean, they're gonna have a lot to handle. I mean, I know Mario Butler, the Super Bowl MVP, is currently the starting cornerback in New England. We'll see how he does. He held up pretty well against Pittsburgh, though, against Antonio Brown. Aside from the usual things like Brady and Gronkowski, what do you think we need to look out for in week 2?
In week 2? Brady and Gronkowski is a good start, though.
Yeah, well, that's a constant.
Yeah. I mean, I think LeGarrette Blount, if he's fully healthy, I'm not sure of his health status right now. I think I saw something about him being hurt. I think he's a very good player. He's a difficult player to bring down. I mean, this Patriots team it's a weird team because it's not. There's not a whole lot that you know about this team right now. They lost some players. I mean, they lost Revis Browner. They lost Shane Vereen, who I thought was a really good player for them. And we'll have to see who steps up and becomes that player. I think Edelman is going to be concerned. He always is. He's like Wes Welker 2.0.
Yeah, even for the Patriots and everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think will, with all that's gone on with Tom Brady in the offseason, do you think that'll affect his game at all?
No, not at all. I think Tom Brady is, if not the best quarterback of all time, he's top 3, top 5.
I'd say so. Yeah.
I mean,
I hate to admit it, but yeah.
I hate Tom Brady. I hate the Patriots, but there's no denying the talent there. He's a great player. One of the best ever.
And I think that's always been part of Buffalo fans' problem with him. Because even when we have a full packed stadium,
of all Bills fans, or at least 90% Bills fans. Him and
still gonna see
Belichick
that.
are impossible to psych out.
Yep. I mean, nothing rattles this team. They go through everything. They brush it off their shoulders like they're Jay-Z.
Yep. There's the first hip-hop reference of the year.
Oh, boy.
What do we have it at? 10, 11 minutes? Yep.
11 minutes, yeah.
It only took 10 minutes. Good job.
Well, you know me.
All right. What else is going on in the league?
Okay, I thought Marcus Mariota really started off with a bang. 4 touchdowns. It's against the Buccaneers, so let's not get ahead of ourselves. But still, a rookie quarterback throwing 4 touchdowns in his first game, that's very impressive.
I think so. Yeah, absolutely. The Buccaneers.
And it was a battle of the 2 first picks in the draft.
Now, I didn't catch this game. Did they play Winston, or did they
Yes,
have it?
yep.
Okay.
Winston had 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, I believe.
Got it.
And I mean, that's obviously that's fine. I mean, I think the Buccaneers are probably still the worst team in the league.
You're saying this while the Raiders are indeed still a team.
Well, there's players in the Raiders on both sides of the ball that I like. I think Amari Cooper, the rookie, is a pretty good player. I actually am sort of high on Derek Carr, more than most people probably. He's hurt right now, though. Khalil Mack, I think, is a beast. I think Khalil Mack is going to be one of the best young defense players. Yeah. He's going to be a great, great player, I think. Like with Tampa Bay, you look at their offense, and there's some nice players. You have Mike Evans. You have Vincent Jackson. You have Winston, who a lot of people are negative on Winston. I really liked him in college. I thought he was a good player. But you look at that defense, and other than Gerald McCoy, well, now I'm talking myself into their defense, Gerald McCoy and Levante David, there's not a whole lot there. Gerald McCoy is one of the best defensive tackles in the league.
Well, this is a little further down the line than what we had planned, but do you think he could be a serious contender for defensive MVP?
Gerald McCoy?
Yeah.
Well, I don't want to ruin my prediction, but there's one player that I'm thinking of that is going to be the defensive MVP, and I can't see anyone else being it.
If I take a guess, will you tell me?
Maybe.
Has he been it before?
Yes.
Okay.
Twice.
Well, yep. Okay, I know exactly who you're talking about now.
I mean, if you're a football fan, you will know this player.
Yeah. That was my prediction as well. But we'll get into that later.
I can't actually wait to talk about this player because for some reason I didn't like him at first, but he's become one of my favorite players in the league. Okay. So where were we? We were talking about Buccaneers and Titans.
Things around the league. Yeah.
Do we have anything more to say about that? I mean, the Titans won 42-14, which is surprising because the Titans were the second worst team in the league.
Just an observation. I feel like they were pitting all the bad teams against each other. You notice that? Yeah. I felt like Buccaneers versus Titans. I noticed the Panthers were playing the Jaguars.
Oh, don't be talking about my Panthers like that. That's my second team right there.
Really?
I'm a huge Cam Newton fan. I also love Kuechly and Thomas Davis. I love that team.
Okay, but say like Cam Newton got picked up by another team.
Oh, they'd be awful. They'd
be there you go.
They'd be terrible. They have a decent defense, but like Cam Newton is that offense.
Even we had Marshawn Lynch in the late 2000s. So I'm saying like one player does not a good team make.
That is true. Very true. Now, I don't want to get back into the Bills right away, but would you say that Luck is a little bit sort of that Colts team right now?
I'd say so. It definitely helps if you have that one like star player. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, your team would suck. Like,
I mean, they do have T.Y. Hilton and Andre Johnson and Frank Gore.
Like, I don't think we're a bad team now, but I would say that there's a fair amount of the media who projects us to be a bad team still.
Oh, definitely.
But like, look at how much more stuff the Bills were in once we picked up Rex Ryan.
Oh, yeah.
Like, we're in Madden commercials, we're in TV shows, like, all this different kind of stuff.
On the cover of Sports Illustrated.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm just saying, like, having that one, like, recognizable player or staff member, like, it definitely helps.
Yeah, definitely.
It definitely helps keep up your perception.
And then, all right. We're terrible at transitions, aren't we?
That's fine.
We've been there.
We're getting back into it.
Yeah, we're getting back into it. Give us a little bit of time. We'll figure it out. Should we go to the next bit of news that we have here?
Yeah, let's do that. Now, I didn't watch this game. You did.
No, I didn't.
Oh, okay. I thought you did.
I saw about it on Twitter. We're talking about the Giants versus Cowboys. Apparently, there's some controversy in how the Giants played.
Apparently, that was a really good game from what I heard.
Yeah. Odell Beckham apparently didn't do too much. We're just going on to...
No, I have him on my fantasy team, and I can confirm he did not do nearly as much as expected.
And I think Odell Beckham's going to go through a sophomore slump a little bit because he had a really, really good rookie year.
Yeah.
I don't know if he can replicate that.
It'll be interesting to see. Like you said, I don't think we should rule out the possibility of a sophomore slump, but I also have to wonder...
He's also very talented.
Well, that's what I was going to say. I think based on how impressive his rookie year was, like you said, I'm wondering if it'll be... Like, if his sophomore slump, so to speak, will be on par with other sophomore slumps in sports. Like, maybe he'll still be, like... If you have a sophomore slump, you either, like, suck or go to, like... a not as good player, and I'm wondering if he'll like be a good player, but it'll just be seen as a slump because of how ridiculous his stats were last year.
Absolutely, and he didn't play the whole season last year. I mean, it's not out of the question that he could still have 1,200 yards like he did this last season. But, I mean, if he's healthy the full year, I mean, I can see that as a realistic possibility that he only gets 1,200 yards. And we're saying that only, that's a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all.
No,
he's still a talented, very talented player.
I agree. Just hope he produces so my fantasy team can succeed and I can make some more money.
And speaking of fantasy players, if you drafted Dez Bryant, you're going to be very unhappy because Dez Bryant's out 4 to 6 weeks with an injury. That's a rough day for the Cowboys fans and fantasy players.
Yeah, well, I don't know about rough day for the Cowboy fans. I guess they squeaked one out at the end, but
They
still.
did, yep. And they're still a good team, I think, but not having Dez Bryant's going to be a test for them because he is. In my opinion, he's the best receiver in the NFL.
He's certainly in the top 5 for...
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Yeah. The Cowboys do have other good players, but...
I mean, they did lose DeMarco Murray.
Like we were talking about, I think it's one of those cases where it helps keep up the perception of the team. I don't think it's as extreme as, like, some of the other scenarios we were mentioning, like Cam Newton with the Panthers, but I do think they could fall out of the, I don't know what the word I'm looking for is. They could fall out of the average NFL fan's favor.
They could. I mean, I don't think many people like the Cowboys, but you at least pay attention to the Cowboys.
Yeah.
Without Dez Bryant...
Well, that was the joke forever. How about them Cowboys?
Yeah. I don't think losing Dez Bryant would be as big as losing Tony Romo, though.
No.
Because, I mean, people hate on Tony Romo, but he's also a really good quarterback.
He's exciting.
He's a very good player. I don't know why people don't like him. I mean, maybe it's the Cowboys.
I know why Giants fans don't like him.
Oh, well, obviously, they're not going to like him. He's probably the same as Tom Brady for Giants fans.
Probably.
I mean, yeah. I just think...
Is there any team fan base in the league that doesn't hate Brady, aside from New England?
Oh, no. Tom Brady is a very unlikable player, in my opinion.
I was going to say, because, like, in Buffalo, like, we think about it, like, Brady's, like, New England as a whole is one of those two teams we hate, the other being Miami. But, like, I feel like the intensity we have
for New England is much higher.
Probably matched by all the other teams. Maybe not as extreme, but I definitely feel like it's that level of intensity.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Brady's ripped the Bills' hearts out year after year.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he's a pretty boy. His wife is very, very attractive. He's won 1 million Super Bowls.
He wears Uggs.
He does wear Uggs. He complains a lot. I mean, he's just not a likable player.
He sits when he pees.
Probably.
No, it's not confirmed, but I'm just speculating.
That's actually a good fantasy team name. Tom Brady sits when he pees. I might have to change my name to that. Right now it's currently Tyrod Taylor, Super Bowl MVP. All right. Should we get into the Bills season preview now?
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so here's going to be our forecast for apparently Forbes' least valuable team in the league. They were evaluated as the lowest value in the league.
Do you know the number?
I mean, we're getting a little bit more organized. I'm not that organized.
Current value, $1.4 billion.
That's what Terry Pagula paid then. So, never mind. I was wrong. So anyway, they're Forbes' least valuable team. Not really relevant to how they're going to play this season, I don't feel. But anyway, so should we go through position by position? break it down a little bit for the fans?
Yeah, let's.
All right, so we'll start out with quarterback, the most important part of the game. You got Tyrod Taylor. You got Matt Castle. And you got E.J. Manuel.
That stopped abruptly.
Yeah. I saw enough from Tyrod that I'm optimistic about his chances as a quarterback. I also didn't see anything that would make him a star necessarily, but I saw enough that this guy can maybe start for this team and be like a Ryan Fitzpatrick type level player.
That's how I feel about Tyrod and a little bit about Castle, but from the preseason, I saw nothing out of EJ that
Really
leads me to believe
I thought EJ was pretty
long-term.
impressive, actually, in the preseason.
Yeah, impressive for a potential playoff team, though? Or impressive for compared to 15 years of heartache as a Bills fan?
I mean, he gives me sort of like J.P. Lossman level excitement.
Because keep in mind, we thought Kyle Orton was impressive. We thought Ryan Fitzpatrick was impressive.
Yeah. I don't even think EJ's as good as either of those guys, though.
Well,
I mean, maybe,
there you go.
Maybe
that
Kyle
proves
Orton.
my point.
Maybe Kyle Orton. I wasn't that high on Kyle Orton, though. But I feel nothing about Matt Castle. I'm not a fan.
No,
At
I
one
can't.
point, you
I
could have
can't
talked
say,
me into him, but not anymore, no.
I can't say he's my favorite, but I feel like if we need to have a backup, he's
He's solid.
he's better than EJ.
I don't want him to be a starter for any period of time.
No.
But if he has to come in for a little bit, whatever. I think Tyrod's going to be the guy for most of the season. I think I saw enough out of him that I'm at least somewhat excited.
Yeah.
So then you go to running backs. You got LaShawn McCoy. Didn't have a good first game. He still could be one of the best running backs in the league when it's all said and done.
I think so.
Carlos Williams, the rookie, I think he's going to be a pretty good player for us. He
showed up.
The Bills like him enough that they got rid of Fred Jackson, which we didn't even speak on. You know, Fred Jackson, one of my favorite Bills of all time, if not number one.
Yeah. I think in a way, as much as it sucks, it's better because if there's any place that he's going to be doing bigger and better things, it's Seattle. Seattle is definitely going to be able to maybe not appreciate his talent as much, but certainly utilize it a lot better.
I'm sure they're going to love him because Seattle has a great fan base. There might be a little bit of bandwagon in there, but I mean, that place has been packed for years, though.
Well, he's legitimately a good dude. Like,
oh yeah, he's a great guy.
You can run into anyone in Buffalo, and they'll be able to tell you like their encounter when they met this athlete at this mall or like this athlete at this event. And I've heard a lot of bad things about a lot of big players, both in football and hockey, but I've never heard anything bad about Fred Jackson.
For me, Fred Jackson and Thurman Thomas, of all the Bills I've interacted with, which has actually been quite a few, those two were the nicest two that I've ever interacted with. I'm not speaking very well. I'm sorry. But Fred Jackson and Thurman Thomas are just really nice guys, and they have nice families, too.
Yeah. You sound like a creep, but you know what? I get what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, just quality people.
Yeah.
And then you got Booby Dixon. Big fan of his game.
Yeah.
I'm on the Booby train.
So,
and then you got fullback Jerome Felton.
here's a quick side story. I worked.
You met Booby J.
I did. I worked in a golf tournament that he was at, and that day it was June. So Rex was, instead of having like training camp that day, he decided he was going to take everyone out to the golf tournament because it was sponsored by Jim Kelly. So he was going to take everyone out to the golf tournament, just let them have like a fun day to themselves, whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone left. The golf tournament didn't end until probably like 4 or 5. Everyone I ran into was very nice, don't get me wrong, but they all left probably like noon, 1 o'clock, 2, somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. Booby Dixon and Chantrell Henderson stayed all day, just living it up, talking to everyone, smiling to everyone, taking pictures with everyone. And they were going up to the DJ and they were requesting like all these different songs. Like, you have to keep in mind, it's a golf tournament, so it's primarily older people. They want to listen to their classic rock, and like for some of the way older people, they wanted to listen to like
Some swing, some jazz.
Like there's Sinatra.
Some ragtime.
Well, I don't know about ragtime, but they wanted to listen to their Sinatra and
some ska,
Rat Pack and stuff like that. So they, Chantrell Henderson goes up and he requests Bugatti. And then just the DJ plays it, and just the look on everyone's face there over the age of probably 40 is just incredible.
Oh, man. I wish I was there to see that. That must have been a sight to see.
You were talking about Bills players who couldn't have been nicer. Those are two of them.
Chantrell Henderson has a great name, by the way.
He does. It's
actually a nice segue to talk about our offensive line.
It's one of those classic, like, football names that sound cool outside of the game without sounding like too East to West Bowl-ish.
Yes, it's a believable name, but it's just a cool name, Chantrell.
Yeah.
Cool name.
Absolutely.
And it's a good combination with the first and the last name, which not everyone has.
No.
You know? I'm not going to name any names. I'm not going to call anybody out.
I'm going to name DeForest Buckner.
DeForest Buckner. Defensive end, Oregon. That is a real player. He was on Mel Kiper's very first big board of the season. And he very likely will be a first-round pick based on that projection.
You know what? With talent like that, your name can be whatever you want.
True. What are the chances the Bills actually draft DeForest Buckner?
It depends on how we do.
True. So, yeah, Chantrell Henderson. He's our right tackle, and he beat out Cyrus Quidanjo? Is that how you say his name?
I have no idea. I know who you're talking about, so you must have pronounced it at least semi-well. However, I don't know how to pronounce it properly.
And actually, the Bills' offensive line was pretty good. Tyrod Taylor did not get sacked.
Yeah.
Which is impressive. Sure, the run blocking wasn't the greatest, but the Bills still had 147 yards rushing. So the Bills' offensive line was okay.
Yeah.
Okay. We have some decent players on there. I think Cordy Glenn's a good player. I've always liked his game.
He was a highlight last season.
He didn't have I don't think he had his best season last year, but he was definitely a bright spot on the offensive line. If he had to pick one on the dismal Bills offensive line last season.
Yeah.
I think Eric Wood has he's shown enough in his career that he's a solid player. I think he's a little overrated by Bills fans, but he's solid. Richie Incognito is a player that exists.
I'm going to be honest. I was heavily skeptical about Incognito when he came here. Not based on performance, but just like what I heard about his character.
Yeah,
off the field,
definitely.
And
he hadn't played in a year or two.
And I'm still gonna be honest, like that's a huge worry and concern for me for the Bills, who, from what I can gather, seem to have a pretty strong team bond and a good work ethic as a group. But he wasn't too bad yesterday.
Not at all. And there's nothing that really stuck out in terms of a player playing badly. Cordy Glenn actually did have a couple of holding penalties, I believe. But yeah, that's going to happen,
Yeah.
Obviously, it's not ideal, but it will happen. And then John Miller, the rookie, we'll see how he goes. I'm sure he'll go through his ups and downs. But I know Rex Ryan thinks very highly of him, and highly enough that he's a starter. So
all rookies do. I mean, it's very rare you have someone like OBJ, as we mentioned.
Oh, yeah. Or you're not going to see a player play like
Sammy Watkins, or where they're just all good all the time.
And he's a third-round pick, so most third-round picks don't start right away. So
yeah.
It's good to see him starting, and we'll see how his season goes.
Absolutely.
Then you got the playmakers. You got Sammy Watkins. You got Percy Harvin. You got Robert Woods, and you got Charles Clay. And, you have guys like Goodwin, who was hurt. You probably won't see him that much this year, honestly.
No,
I liked him as a rookie, but whatever. I think Sammy Watkins is going to have a good year, despite his day on Sunday, but I think he might be able to get 1,000 yards this year.
That's one of my predictions for the season. I still think 1,000 yards. Yeah, I think that seems.
He had 982 last year. I see no reason why he wouldn't be able to do more.
I'm gonna say he'll at least get 850, 900.
I hope so. We traded up for him, so he better.
Yeah.
I think he's got the talent. I'm maybe a little worried that the Bills might not throw enough, though, based on only having 19 pass attempts. Then again, we were leading the whole game. There was no reason for us to pass the ball 40 times.
Yeah, that's true. I think, how much of that do you think was we properly prepared for the Colts versus how much of that was Rex is looking at Tyrod going, here are the guy's strengths, here are his weaknesses?
Well, in the last couple seasons, the Colts defense has really struggled against the run game. The Bills' strength right now is probably the run game because we have LaShawn McCoy, who's a very good running back, and Tyrod Taylor, who can run the ball from the quarterback position. So I think that it might have been more of a game plan into sort of ease Tyrod into the throwing the ball more. You know, it's the first time he started, so it might have been a game plan for the Colts. I think it's a little bit of both, though. You know, it's a little baby steps.
Gotcha.
I thought Percy Harvin was pretty good, and I think for all the bad publicity he's had the last couple of years, I think when he's healthy, he's a very, very talented player.
Absolutely, he may not always be the standout player, but he's certainly impressive.
He's with the ball in his hands, he's one of the best playmakers in the league, I think. The problem is getting him the ball in the right positions, which I don't think Seattle did it right. I don't think the Jets did it right. I think Minnesota did a pretty good job with him, though.
Trying to think back on his Minnesota days.
In Minnesota,
you'll have to forgive me, I don't really remember them very well.
I mean, yeah, no one really cares about the Vikings. Unless you're a Vikings fan.
You want to know how much the Vikings suck?
How much?
This year, the WrestleMania main event was 2 former Vikings players, and they both lost.
Really?
Yep.
Which 2 players?
Brock Lesnar and Roman Reigns.
Wow.
Yep.
That's a fun
And
fact.
they both lost. It was a one-on-one match.
Did you ever hear about the Love Boat scandal?
No.
Google that. It's funny. I don't know if it's funny.
Should I right now?
No, it might be inappropriate, but
okay.
But it's a weird situation. A lot of Vikings players got in trouble for that.
Oh, good. Good. I'm looking forward to it.
But I mean, yeah, Harvin was at one point he was considered an MVP candidate with the Vikings. He got hurt that year, but he was, he had some rushing yards. He had some. He had like 300, I think.
That's certainly a number.
He's a wide receiver, so you don't expect him to rush for a lot of yards, do you? But if you can be creative enough with him, he can be a playmaker for us. Robert Woods, I think, is a very solid player. And Charles Clay had a nice 27-yard grab yesterday.
He had a good game.
I always liked him in Miami, so it'll be interesting to see how we can use him. All right, I think that's going to bring us to the defensive side of the football team, right?
That's our strong suit, I'd say, year after year.
Absolutely.
Recent year after recent year.
Yeah. I think once Mike Pettin came to the Bills, that's when our defense turned around.
Yeah.
And, Rex Ryan isn't that different than Mike Pettin.
Yeah.
They have very similar philosophies. And it all starts up front. You got Kyle Williams. You got Mario Williams. You got Aaron Williams. You got Duke Williams. You got Carlos Williams. Not all those players are on defense or on the defensive line, but we've got them.
They're all Bills.
But anyway, you got the 2 Williams on the defensive line. You got Marcel Darius, who we just gave the most money guaranteed for any defensive player ever until J.J. Watkins' next contract, probably.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. What was that, 6 years, $100 million?
$108 million for
$108 million
for Darius, and $60 million guaranteed. A lot of money.
Yeah.
I think he's worth it, though. I think he's a top 3 defensive tackle, along with Sue and Gerald McCoy. And then you got Jerry Hughes, who I think is a very underrated player. And he gets outshined by the other guys a lot of the time in terms of media stuff. But I think he's just as talented.
Probably because no one can pronounce his first name.
Jerry?
Oh, sorry. I was thinking of someone different. You're good.
What? Who'd you think I said?
I thought you said Sue.
Oh, Ndamukong.
Yeah.
No, I said Jerry Hughes.
Oh,
I guess I can see how that.
And I'm like, how's that really pertain to the Bills? But I got you now.
I feel you.
I just misheard.
So yeah, I mean, the Bills' defensive line is going to continue to be, if not the best defensive line, one of the best defensive lines.
Yeah.
Speak on that.
The thing I think about our defensive line is it's not just they stockpiled a bunch of picks and got a bunch of rookies.
They developed these players.
Yeah, absolutely. So they know how to work the system. And then on top of that, it's half rookies, half players who maybe not made their name on another team, but certainly players who had been in the league longer than the rookies they developed. So it's this perfect combination of
proven talent and then
talent who can be molded and have this advice passed on to them, and they all form as a team together. So when the older players retire...
That is beautiful.
What?
That's just a beautiful statement. I like it.
So when these older players have to retire, and it's just the rookies that we've developed who are now the old-timers, so to speak, in the league, they bring a new batch of rookies in. Hey, this is how the system works. They can just pass it down, keep passing it down.
And, Kyle Williams, I think, has been he's been great for helping the younger players along.
Absolutely.
I mean, so like Kyle Williams, he was a 5th-round pick. We developed him into a really good defensive tackle. Marcel Darius was the 3rd overall pick. We developed him into a really good defensive tackle, and obviously the pedigree's there. And Mario Williams we brought in, who was the 1st overall pick. And, he was good in Houston, but I think he really became a more consistent player with the Bills.
Yeah, I'd say he definitely found his footing here.
Definitely, yeah. And then Jerry Hughes was a guy that, we pretty much, we just traded Kelvin Shepard, who wasn't that good, and we developed Jerry Hughes into a good player.
The nice thing I like about Mario Williams being here, too, is it was so common, not so much anymore, but it was so common at the time, you'd see these big-name players get signed to Buffalo, and they would just totally underproduce. Because everyone in Buffalo wanted to ignore that they were on the downslope of their career.
Yep.
Like T.O. We remembered him from his Eagles days.
And 49ers and Cowboys, too.
Yeah.
He was a great player for quite a while.
Yeah, and then he just gets to Buffalo and he sucks.
Well, he had 900 yards with... I mean, he was okay. He was only there for
He wasn't peak T.O.,
no,
though.
definitely not, no. It was more of like, let's get the fans in the seats type move.
I will admit, that's what I was kind of concerned about would happen with McCoy. He's not as old as T.O. was when we picked him up. But it was certainly a concern to me.
That.
And I was definitely concerned it was going to happen with Williams. But fortunately, it didn't.
No,
he's paid off, and he is still continuing to pay off.
Definitely. And honestly, beyond the top 4 guys that the Bills have, I actually really like both Corbin Bryant and Stephen Charles. I think both of those guys are really good backups, and they could be starters on other teams.
Oh, absolutely.
Also, I've seen Stephen Charles in person, and he is a massive man.
That's the nice thing about our team. It's that with the defense, as you said, even the backups could be starters on other teams.
That's a great thing to have that depth, and especially on defensive line, because you need to rotate those guys a lot.
I think that was the first step towards our team getting the respect we deserve, is that we had this defensive line that was so impressive. It was, and I'd still even say it's probably top 5 in the NFL.
Oh.
I don't think I'm crazy for saying that.
No, not at all.
I think that was the first puzzle piece to us getting the respect we deserve as a good team.
Yeah. It all starts up with that defensive line. And the rest of the defense really isn't anything to be ashamed of either.
No.
It's very, very good. Nigel Bradham, I think he's a really good player. We got to lock him up, I think. He's in for a contract this year. And I think Preston Brown was really good as a rookie. And he's a very good coverage linebacker. And I think with those 2 guys, the league now, you don't need a whole lot of linebackers. A lot of teams are going to be playing 3 corners. So I think with those 2 guys, those are 2 very good linebackers to have. Beyond that, the linebacking, it's a little iffy, I guess. Manny Lawson, he was okay for us last year and the year before. Beyond that, there's not a whole lot there. That'd be the one part of the defense, if there's an injury, the Bills might be screwed. One part that we do have depth in, I think, is the secondary. Other than the defensive line, I guess there's only 3 parts of the defense, but we have the most depth there at secondary. You look at Gilmore, who I think is a top-flight corner in the league. We also need to lock him up, in fact. He's up for a contract as well. And the Bills will have to make some decisions on that, whether they want to keep both those guys, if they can, or if they have to pick between Gilmore and Bradham. I don't know. I would choose Gilmore over Bradham at this point, though. You had Ronald Darby, who's a rookie. Pretty impressive in his first game. He had an interception. You got Corey Graham, who is currently out with a concussion. First play of the game, he actually suffered a concussion.
Sucks to suck.
Don't say that about Corey Graham. He was great last year.
He's
he was
a good
really
player.
good. Then you have the safety duo of Aaron and Duke Williams, who Aaron Williams is going to get most of the playing time, but I think Duke Williams is a good player. I liked him last year. In a limited role, but I think he's a good player. And then rounding out the secondary, you got Nickel Roby, pretty good slot corner who can blitz a little bit, get to the quarterback, make some plays. And then eventually, Leonis McKelvin is coming back.
McKelvin.
I feel like this is probably going to be Leonis' last year in Buffalo.
He's getting up there.
He's 30, 31. He is getting up there.
Which isn't bad, but most football players do not, especially one in a defensive position.
Yeah.
They do not typically last past, 35, 36?
Yeah, especially corners, because, they're going to get slower as they age. And I feel like, Darby has the opportunity to unseat him right now, because McKelvin's out for at least 6 games, because he's on the physically unable to perform list. So Darby's has a great opportunity to become our second corner, and I think we drafted him to beat the second corner eventually. So,
like I said with the probably a minute or two ago, it's all about getting those rookies and then having the older people in the league train them.
And I think Leonis will be a good teacher. I think Gilmore could be a good teacher, and obviously Corey Graham as well. So,
I'd say even better than I know I didn't really name players in my last example, but let's just use Mario Williams for instance. Mm-hmm. He's a great person to learn from, but I think Leonis McKelvin will be a better teacher in this scenario because he's been in Buffalo. Is it his whole career or pretty much his whole? Okay, that's what I thought.
He's gone through some ups and downs. He had that one game where, fans hated him and drew stuff on his lawn.
I remember.
After what did he do? He fumbled it or something against New England or Dallas. I can't remember. And he went through the rookie struggles, went up and down. Then he became a good player.
That's my other takeaway here. If I can just get off topic for a moment.
Go ahead.
Buffalo fans, you need to stop being assholes all the time. I understand the heartbreak of the situation, but you don't need to burn stuff on other people's lawns.
It's a game. It is a game that we're supposed to enjoy.
Yes.
I watch football to enjoy it. I don't want to get mad.
There's no need to drive these people out of our city when they do get good, just because when they suck and made a mistake one time, you were just enormous dicks.
Yeah. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's a game. We should treat it as such sometimes,
Agreed.
I don't get too worked up about it. I love football, don't get me wrong. I love the Bills, don't get me wrong. But, I don't know, screaming at the TV, throwing things.
Would never burn a pentagram into someone's lawn.
That'd be pretty messed up if that happened. Did that happen?
I don't know what they burned, but
I want to say it was some genitals.
Probably.
That's what I was hearing, I think. Maybe some profanity. You know who I love on the Bills?
I think I know where this is going.
We've been waiting all 47 minutes. We haven't even said his name. Can we say it on the count of 3?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Dan Carpenter. Can we talk about how much we love Dan Carpenter real quick?
Great dude.
Great guy.
I was scared a little bit because don't get me wrong, he was phenomenal 95% of the preseason, but there was a 5% where he was looking a little iffy.
He missed 3 kicks, field goals.
Yeah.
And there was rumors that Rex Ryan wasn't a fan and wanted to look for a new kicker.
I'm going to be totally honest. I think if he had a kicker in mind at the time, if Gay wasn't just totally awful, I think he could have been one of the cuts we made. It would not surprise me.
And I'd like to think the Trap Lord, Kanye, Jesus, anyone, the base god, that Dan Carpenter is still on the team.
Absolutely. Because he definitely was back to his normal Dan Carpenter magic yesterday.
Oh, yeah. We love Dan Carpenter on this show. We're probably the biggest 2 fans in the world of Dan Carpenter. You actually met him.
Yes, I did.
And you have a picture with him.
I unfortunately don't have a cool story. I know Connor and Jeremy were very angry I didn't tell them we had a podcast. However, the same golf tournament, I just saw him walking around, and I just went up, said, "Hey, can I get a selfie with you?" And he's like, "Yeah, absolutely. Great dude."
I'm so jealous.
Gonna print out an 8x10 and keep it in my car just in case I ever run into him again.
Just have him sign it.
Yep.
Oh, man. We need to get Dan Carpenter on the show this year. Let's make that happen.
Agreed.
We need to find a way to do that. So, yeah, I was definitely worried, though, that the Bills would get rid of him. And thank God they didn't, because great guy, great player.
Agreed.
Okay. I think it's time to make some predictions about the Bills season.
Yes.
I know in my notes I have both the Bills and NFL predictions here. Let's do Bills first, and then do the NFL ones last, just to round it out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just to, stay somewhat on the Bills bandwagon here.
Yes.
All right, so why don't we go first things first? Let's pick a record for the Bills. Let me go through the games real quick in my head. Don't want to put that on the recording because that might not be fun.
Got it.
Just to come up with an idea.
And I will do the same.
And we'll probably cut out the silence. It's up to you, though, Evan, I guess, if you want to.
We can do that.
Yeah. I should have put if they were home or away. That would really have helped. Oh, well.
Yeah, not that too much, I don't think.
I feel like we're going to beat New England once. We're going to start 2-0. That's my bold prediction.
That was pretty bold.
Very.
I didn't realize we played... I knew we played New England twice. I didn't realize we played Miami twice.
What do you mean? It's every year. We play our division twice every year.
I didn't realize they were this soon, though. You know what I mean? Because usually there's a Miami game in December.
Oh, yeah. It's weird. Usually they are later, aren't they? New England. I think the Bills are going to start... no, I can't talk myself into that. We're going to lose to Miami. The Bills cannot start.
That's what I'm stuck on. Do you think that we're going to be able to beat Miami twice? I think
no.
I don't know.
We're going to split it with Miami. I want to make the bold prediction that we're going to beat New England, though. Maybe we should actually leave this in because this might be interesting. I don't know.
I'll just condense it.
Yeah. Giants. I feel like we'll beat the Giants and the Titans. We're going to lose to the Bengals. 1, 2.
I'm kind of going along doing a realistic prediction and then like an optimistic prediction. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think I'm ready to make my prediction.
All right.
I'm not going to have an optimistic...
My optimistic and realistic met halfway, so it's the same number now.
I think me too.
Go on.
I'm gonna say the Bills are gonna go 9-7.
I had 10-6.
Ooh.
Yeah.
You're on the bandwagon train now.
Yeah.
The bandwagon train.
Yeah, I think so.
I remember you a couple days ago saying that you think the hype for the Bills is a little bit too much right now.
Well, I took a second look at the schedule, and
it's some of the games are not that difficult. We're playing the Titans, the Jaguars.
Yeah, we have a stretch.
The Redskins.
That Titans-Bengals-Jaguars stretch was pretty friendly. Like, yeah. I'm gonna be honest.
Even the Giants.
Yeah, I had us going 5-2 into the bye week.
That'd be great for the Bills if they can do that. There are a couple games that are going to be difficult, though. I mean, obviously New England's always a tough game. The Chiefs, we seem to struggle against them recently. We really played poorly against them last year, I thought.
Now, I know the Week 3 Miami game is away, so that would probably make Week 9 Miami home, correct?
Yes.
Okay. I think that it's a legitimate possibility if the weather is crappy enough by that point in time, we can get... It might... To use wrestling speak, it might be a dirty move, might be a heelish move, but I think we can get a leg up on Miami if we're able to do that.
It could
we're able to control the weather.
Yeah, I want to say we're going to split with Miami. I'm optimistic, and I think the Bills are going to beat New England this week.
My basing on the second New England victory was...
You think the Bills are going to beat New England twice? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, actually.
Ooh.
And I'm going to tell you why.
That is a bold prediction.
I feel New England will be confident enough by that point in time that they won't be starting anyone who's of extreme value to them because they believe they can walk over us. You know what I mean?
It could be. You know, it's not that late season game entirely.
I know, but I'm still New England's New England, and they have no incentive to be a spoiler team for us at Week 11.
That could be very true there.
The only downside is it's in New England.
Yeah. If we had 2 home games against New England, I'd feel a lot more confident. But
Yeah.
it's not realistic. Nor will that ever happen.
No, it will not.
I think
The Jets, I had us beating twice.
I'm higher on the Jets than you, apparently. I think with Ryan Fitzpatrick, they were impressive week 1. And I think their defense is very good.
That's true.
Because they did add Revis and Cromartie back.
That's true. Because it's not like anyone in Buffalo would know the strengths and weaknesses of Ryan Fitzpatrick.
True. I mean, Rex Ryan knows Fitzpatrick very well, too, I suppose.
Yeah.
But
He knows that whole Jets organization
he's
really
better
well.
than Geno Smith. That's true. He's better than Geno Smith, though.
I feel with enough
Then again,
block in practice, anyone could be better than Geno Smith at some points.
Geno Smith could be starting at some point.
Don't get me wrong.
Week 17, too. You don't know.
Don't get me wrong. To be a starting quarterback in the NFL, which he's not now, but he was at one point,
You have to have some sort of talent.
yes, you do have to be impressive.
And
Like,
Geno Smith was promising at one point.
Everyone's seen the statistics about how this percentage of people make it to high school, this percentage of people make it to college, this percentage.
Yeah.
So everyone's seen those statistics. So to be there, you have to be a really good player.
Yeah.
I have no doubt if Geno Smith showed up to like a pickup game, like at a local high school, like he would
Pickup
just
football.
smoke everyone.
Yeah, definitely. He
But-
would really he'd really destroy everyone.
However, on the Jets, no, just no.
Yeah, I suppose. I think another difficult game is going to be Dallas. Because
See,
they're going to be
that's
very
probably
motivated.
where my 10-6 beat your 9-7 because I had us beating Dallas.
Really.
Yep.
What, do you have us beating the Eagles? Do you have us beating the Eagles as well?
No, because I asked you and
I said the Eagles were
you
pretty
said they were good, so
I think both Dallas and the Eagles are pretty good, so I think those are going to be tough games. I'm not too concerned about the Giants or the Redskins in the NFC, but you never know, I guess. And the Texans, you never know with them either.
the Giants are a home game, so I had us
I think we can beat
topping
the Giants.
them. Yeah, because I think we could beat Giants if we were playing them in well, technically New Jersey,
Yeah.
but I definitely think we can beat them if it's home.
Yeah.
Especially if our predictions are correct that we're going to fall short to New England.
I thought you said we were going to beat New England twice. Are you going back on that?
I had it. I didn't say we were going to beat them twice. I thought I had us losing the first week.
Oh, I was sure you said it. We'll run the tape back and
I probably
we'll
did.
find this out.
I don't know. I'm going to cut out all inconsistencies as well as awkward silences and pauses because we didn't write any of this down. So I'm just trying to struggle to remember who the 10 were and who the 6 were for me. So
Yeah, that's true, yeah.
as of me saying this, I feel if we lose to New England, I'm in the same boat as you. I definitely feel like we'll lose to Miami at home. Or at their
their
away,
home.
I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like we'll lose to Miami in that week 3 away game. So if we lose to New England, because that could go either way. I think I know which way it's going to go, but it could go either way. And then I'm confident that we'll lose to Miami. Week 4, we're back at the Ralph.
Yeah.
People are going to be riled up. They're going to be going insane.
Yeah.
They're going to want to win after 2 weeks.
I feel like that's going to be every week this year at the Ralph, though.
I know, but if we have 2 losses
True.
in a row, I feel like
if that happens.
people are going to be worked up.
Yeah. I mean, that's actually very possible that we have 2 losses.
Oh, I did say we were going to beat New England week 2 because that was the 5-2 goal. Okay, so yeah. All right.
So
no. Okay. No, I know for a fact week 2 we're losing, week 11 we're winning. That's it. That's
we're going to beat New England.
You confuse me and you suck
Gillette
and I hate
Stadium?
you.
We're going to beat the Patriots at Gillette Stadium? Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Well, we did do that, I guess.
Yes.
Our last game before the Colts game, actually, but that's a bold prediction as well.
I'm telling you, week 11, they're going to be confident old Patriots South and not start anyone of significance except for maybe Brady and Gronk.
And Edelman, probably.
Probably. They're probably not going to start anyone of significance because it's the Bills. They beat the Bills
Well,
however many times in the past 15 years.
we don't know.
And we're not going to be necessarily looking like we're headed for the playoffs, so they have no reason to be a spoiler.
Think about this, though, for a second. There's going to be some injuries in the NFL. Turns out football is a violent sport.
You don't say.
Rob Gronkowski has a long injury history. Do we know that he's going to be healthy the full year?
Here's the thing. I think you know how he acts off the field.
Great man.
Yes. Philanthropist.
I actually would really like Rob Gronkowski
Humanitarian.
if he was on the Bills. He seems like a fun guy.
No, he seems like a great dude, but like he's not the most mature person, I'll say.
Yeah.
So that in mind, if he got a concussion, no one would probably notice. So his career may be a lot shorter than we anticipate it being.
That might be true. It'll definitely be interesting, though. Do you think, now, at 10-6, you probably think the Bills are going to make the playoffs then this year?
Yeah.
At 9-7...
I don't. Well, that depends. That depends. Patriots, obviously, are making
Yeah, I
the
think
playoffs.
the Patriots are, for sure winning the division.
I think if we can...
We
It's
were right
really,
there
it's
last
really
year.
going to depend on how the Dolphins do health-wise. You know what I mean? Because I'm not concerned about the Jets, but within our division...
The Dolphins could be a pretty good team.
If everyone stays healthy, then I feel like we're probably coming in third to Dolphins and
You
New
think so?
England. It could be. It's all going to depend on how.
This is
Miami
going to be
does.
the most competitive this division has been in quite some time. I think.
I was talking about it with my friend the other day, and he's telling me all about Miami, and I didn't necessarily believe it. And then I
think Ryan Tannehill
saw
is a
some of their
very good
highlights
quarterback.
from yesterday, and I was impressed.
I do like some of those players. I like Jarvis Landry a lot.
Yeah.
They had Greg Jennings. Okay. I do think Ryan Tannehill is pretty good, though. And they're obviously Sue is a monster. So
Yeah, absolutely.
It'll
You
be
actually said Sue that time?
I did say
it
Sue,
wasn't
not
Hughes?
Jerry
Okay.
Hughes. I
Got
can
it.
see why the two would get confused. Oh, man, that rhyme is so good. I didn't say Sue.
Well,
I
I'm
said
outta
Jerry
here.
Hughes. All right. Well, I'll stop there.
Okay. I'll stay for the rest of the show then.
All right. So, Bills MVPs. Let's go through this quickly. This part here.
All right. Bills MVP, I'm probably going with...
Let's go offense to defense.
All right.
MVP of the offense.
I'm going to say Watkins.
I'm going to say Watkins.
That seems
too.
like a safe bet.
I think he's going to bounce back.
Yeah.
I think he's going to have a good year. Defensive MVP will be Marcel Darius, I think.
He better be. With how much we just dropped on him, I'd be very upset if he wasn't
I think
playing like an MVP.
I think he's a great player.
Yes. All right. League-wide, who do you think MVP, offensive, defensive?
Offensive MVP, I'm going to go Andrew Luck.
What?
I think Andrew Luck is going to have a monster season.
Really?
He didn't do so good yesterday.
Do you think like yesterday's going to like light a fire under his ass?
Yes.
Okay.
I think he has the potential to be the second best quarterback in the NFL this year. I think the best quarterback is probably Rodgers. Rodgers was MVP last year.
He was my prediction for
MVP.
offense. Yeah. So
And
I don't
that's
know.
a really good
That's-
prediction because
that's
it's
a
fantastic.
That's a super bold move on your part, I'd say.
Yeah, I think Andrew Luck's going to have a great season. Defensive MVP. I think we both had the same guy, J.J. Watt.
Yeah. We alluded to it earlier, but
J.J. Watt, in my opinion, is the best non-quarterback in the NFL.
that's a safe bet. J.J. Watt's the kind of player I would call overrated on so fast, but because I like him on the field, but I don't necessarily like him as a person.
I feel you. I didn't like him until I watched Hard Knocks.
Okay, I didn't see Hard Knocks.
The guy flips over this 1,000-pound tire 65 times.
But here's the thing:
He's insane.
I didn't like him as a person, but I liked him off the field, or I liked him on the field,
Yeah.
and that's the kind of scenario where I would call like overrated on so quickly, just because I was taking it out on this person. But he's just incredible.
He really is. I mean, he had offensive touchdowns last year. He had his second 20-sack season last season. I mean, he hit EJ Manuel 9 times against the Bills last year.
Yeah.
He didn't sack him, but he hit him 9 times.
That was one part of the 10-6. I had a loss to the Texans.
I mean, yeah, J.J. Watt's going to blow up the Bills' offensive line.
Yeah,
Even with improvements, you can't stop him.
that was exactly my logic.
And I'm actually intrigued by the Texans because Jadeveon Clowney's back, and those two could be a pretty scary combo.
Yeah. I'll let you go first for the rookie predictions because, truth be told, I didn't really pay too much attention outside of the Bills yesterday.
I didn't pay too much attention to the draft process this year because the Bills didn't have a first-round pick.
Exactly. I have a Bills prediction, but I don't have a league-wide one, so I'll let you go first.
For the league, well, do you want to go Bills first?
Yeah, okay.
All right, Bills, offensive rookie. I mean, I think there's only one option. Or no, there's two options, I guess. I'm going to go with... I mean, there's a sexy pick and there's a not sexy pick.
Go.
I'm going to go with the not sexy pick because I think he's going to have a bigger impact this year. I'll go with John Miller.
And who do you have for the sexy pick?
The sexy pick would be Carlos Williams.
Okay, that's who I had. All right. So maybe I'm just looking from a face value kind of thing. Mm-hmm. Like, I know you can't base the entire season off of one game, but like you said, he was impressive yesterday.
Very good first game, yeah. I just feel like John Miller is, he's going to be he'll most likely be a starter for the full year. Carlos Williams is going to be stuck behind LaShawn McCoy unless McCoy gets injured, which is a possibility.
Plus, we don't know if he just had like one really good game.
Bryce Brown will probably be back at some point.
That's true. That is true.
For defensive rookie for the Bills, I think it's Darby.
Okay.
He's going to get the most opportunity of any of the players we select. I don't even know if we got any more defenders.
I didn't really even put thought into like offensive versus defensive rookie. I just had Carlos, but that is a very good point.
And he was our highest draft pick, so I think he's going to be expected to do the most.
Yeah.
And I think he will. For NFL, oh boy. Not sure.
Yeah.
I'll say Amari Cooper for the Raiders. I liked him in college a lot. He's a wide receiver. Oh, no, never mind. Mariota. Mariota had 4 touchdowns yesterday for the Titans. So, I think he's a safe pick. Defense, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm going to pass.
It's almost too early to even speculate.
Yeah, it's too hard to pick that. Breakout players for the Bills. That's another thing we got on here. I think Gilmore is going to really have a breakout season for the Bills. I feel like he's going to make the next step this year. He had 4 pass breakups. He's in a contract year, too. That helps.
Yeah. So.
Yeah. Did we make a Super Bowl prediction yet? We should do that. Why don't we end it with the Super Bowl prediction?
All right. I just want to comment on something you have on here very quickly.
Okay.
There is a section he has on our notes paper called Dan Carpenter Awards, meaning, did you want to just clarify what that means?
So last year we fell in love with Dan Carpenter.
How could anyone not?
And now we don't want to cheat on Dan Carpenter necessarily. But if we had to pick another player that maybe the talent doesn't really match our level of affection for him, it sounds so strange. We're just going to pick another player that might be at that same level at some point this year. Now, I actually have not given any thought to this question until just now.
I have an answer for you.
Okay, I'd like to hear it.
I think it is very insulting that you would imply a player could capture our hearts the way Dan Carpenter did last season. I'm not saying it's an impossibility. I'm just saying, however, that it's mildly insulting.
Do you have a pick for it? Or
no, I do not.
No.
Dan Carpenter is my winner of the Dan Carpenter Award as of September 14th, 2015.
I'm going to go... Okay, I'll stick with Dan Carpenter as well. Honorable mention, though, Boobie Dixon. I feel like he was sort of like that other player that we really liked like that though.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
The most talented player, but one that, just a fan favorite.
Yeah, if something happened where Dan Carpenter got injured and couldn't play again, or he got cut,
I would be very confident with Boobie Dixon kicking field goals for us.
Yeah.
That's what we're trying to say here.
Yes.
I mean, Boobie Dixon can do it all, so.
All right. So I pulled up for Super Bowl, I pulled up a list of each conference just to make sure that I wasn't missing anyone, or, well, that too. Just to make sure that I wasn't missing anyone or anything like that. I hate to say it, but knowing how that team operates, I'm probably going to say, unfortunately, that the whole offseason probably lit a fire underneath the Patriots organization. And I could realistically see them going to the Super Bowl. However, their opponent I'm torn between Seattle, again, which would be a repeat of last year, or Green Bay, really.
I feel like without Jordy Nelson and knowing their history of always getting hurt, I don't think the Packers are going to challenge Seattle that much. It's hard to see that. It's hard seeing them not making the NFC Championship, though, with Aaron Rodgers.
That's what I thought. That was entirely my decision, because I did think about the injuries and everything, but I'm just that confident in Aaron Rodgers.
I definitely can see that. What should I go with? I don't really think there's another team in the AFC that can even get close to New England at this point.
Well, that was my problem. Like, all the teams who used to be good don't really seem it anymore.
Yeah.
Like,
I think
the Ravens are still good, but they're not as impressive as they were.
I think the Ravens could be a dark horse to make the Super Bowl, but I just feel like they don't have the playmakers on offense, I don't feel.
And I hate to say this because he's my favorite quarterback of all time, but I think we're starting to see the downfall of Peyton Manning and the Broncos.
Yeah, I definitely think that.
I think the crack showed last year, but everything's about to break open.
Yeah, I can't see them really being they'll be good. They won't be great, though.
No.
I feel like it's going to be Patriots versus Ravens in the AFC Championship. I think what I saw from the Colts yesterday, I don't see them being able to win the Super Bowl. I still think Andrew Luck could be MVP. I don't see that team getting that far, though.
So you're thinking Patriots versus Ravens, Seattle versus Green Bay? Or not Green Bay, that was me. Seattle versus...
Who are the other teams in the NFC that I like? I'm going to go Seattle versus the Panthers. Okay. Versus the Carolina Camerons.
Well, I got some bad news for you.
About that. That's a joke. What are other teams in the NFL? Oh, boy.
The Oilers?
All right, I'm going to go... Oh, boy, I don't want to be the same as you.
Well, that's the problem. Like,
I'm going to go back to the AFC real quick while I look this up, so we don't have to cut too much out of this. Oh, I sort of do like the Steelers, actually, too. I don't know.
You think Roethlisberger is going to have one last victory lap before he fades into retirement?
I don't think their defense is good enough to make the Super Bowl or get out of the NFC or the AFC. I think it's going to be Ravens versus Patriots. I do like the Ravens. I think they have a good defense for sure. Flacco's a good quarterback. I think Steve Smith is one of my favorite players of all time. It's his final year. He's going to have a big year, I think. But I don't think they have the playmakers to go above. I don't think they can get over the Patriots. I don't see that happening. Here we go. Here's what I'm going to go for my NFC Championship. It's going to be Cowboys versus Seattle.
Okay.
Once Dez Bryant comes back, I think the Cowboys, they're going to have one of the best offenses. I've already talked myself out of this. Their defense is not good enough. It's going to be Packers-Seahawks. I'm sorry to go for the exact same.
Like I said, it's not an easy decision. I know it's only week one, but there's only one standout team in each conference, and then the other two were just kind of guesses.
Pretty much, yeah. So who do you think Super Bowl then? Are you going to go with the same Super Bowl, Seahawks, Patriots, like I am?
Probably, yeah.
A repeat of last year. Wow. The NFL is so easy to predict, though, for the most part. Like, you can tell who the top couple teams are going to be.
I was talking about this with someone. I'm glad that football, as we know it, isn't the exact same as... Like, I like how it's different from other leagues, because with basketball and soccer, the teams that are good for a ridiculously long time.
Football, their teams are going to be good for about 5 years.
The soccer comment wasn't my own observation. That was from a conversation I had with my friend earlier in the week, but that's how I feel about basketball and soccer.
I can feel you on that.
Because it's just all a matter of... Okay, I guess baseball is a better example for this. It's all a matter of who has the most money.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think the Yankees suck this year, but they're still, like, really fresh in everyone's mind? Because as far as baseball goes, they are the team.
They always spend the most money.
Yeah, they always had the most players because they're willing to spend the most.
In football, there's not a whole lot of teams like that because the salary cap is it's the same for every team. You know, like even the small market teams like the Bills. The Bills are right up against the cap pretty much. They're paying Darius a ton of money. They're paying Williams tons of money. Mara, that is. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like there's every team is not even, but for the most part, the good teams are going to stay good for a while. But then, you know, they're going to fade quickly.
Yeah.
Just like that. Boom. And just like that, our podcast is over.
All right. It's been a good one. We'll see
It has
you.
been good. I think we did a really good job of staying on topic.
I know.
I think this outline really worked out, even though it was in Comic Sans. I think it worked out well. If you want to get in touch with the show, feel free to email us at sportsarehappening@gmail.com. Send in your mailbag questions. We will answer them. And if anyone does that, you can just come on the show.
Yeah.
You are a great fan.
We will fly you out here.
Definitely. We'll fly you out here. We will buy you a plane ticket.
Yeah.
If you want to get in touch with us, you can follow us on Twitter at @ConYesusCursed. And what's your?
At EVJ218.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to follow us, I know Lil B follows me.
Real Big Fish follows me.
Really?
Yeah.
The band Real Big Fish?
Yeah, they follow me.
What an interesting anecdote.
Right?
That is an obscure band to be followed by.
I don't care. I followed him back. It's a good way to ensure that someone's always following you. Because if Real Big Fish follows me, you can guarantee, regardless whether I like them or not, I'm still going to follow them.
And think about it, they're not going to unfollow you because they probably follow a lot of people.
Hashtag team follow back.
Yeah, I try to follow back most people. So if you follow us on Twitter, we will follow you back. And hey, if you want to talk about something on the show, send in your questions, anything. We got you.
Yeah.
We got you, fam.
If you have questions about football, we can answer them. Questions
Relationship
about hockey,
advice.
you don't know where you're going for college next fall, we can help.
If you want to get involved with the Hilbert radio station, we can definitely help you with that. Oh yeah. All right, well that's it for our shameless plug. And that's it for our show. So
Bye.
see you next week maybe?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right, bye.